what?
I had a
foot
bruise
strength.
on the top of my foot.
Yeah, I know someone had a gash in their leg because the power wash, like a industrial power washer
Yeah.
got them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I didn't have an industrial one. I just have the one. Oh, is that why everybody looked at me crazy when I said that at the happy hour? Because it can cause a blood. It didn't cause any blood. It just caused a big bruise on my foot. Fucking power washer. Bill said, I was going to tell you, I was going to tell you to be careful of your feet. I was like, well, thanks. Thanks, bro. Good looking out. My man.
Well, and I'll be right back.
Oh man. There's been some I guess we'll get into some stuff here.
Oh my God. When I hung up with you guys last week, 1 hour later, my son called to say goodbye. Goodbye, Mom. Bad news.
Yeah, we
He
kind of
said bad news.
It was good timing last week for our show that he had checked in with you a little bit before that. Everything was good. And then after the show,
I was laughing and a little tipsy, like, whoo, breathing easy. Then this fool calls me 1 hour later and says, bad news, Mom. We're fucked. Oh my God.
Did I see something? I feel like I saw something. We'll start the show in a minute, but yeah. There's the
hurricane?
No, the death count for the Lahaina fire is
it's over 100, but it's closer to they're saying in town that it's over 500.
Yeah, I saw
between
550.
500 and 1,000. Yeah.
I saw 550.
And they've only gone through like 30% of the rubble. Ugh.
I don't know. When they say there's like 1,500 people missing, I don't know like if that is like, it's like, wow, it's weird that the estimate is a really round number, like not even like not 1,250 or like 1,210, but like 1,500. It's like, I wonder where they get the estimates from.
Yeah, good question. It's all so many questions,
but it's still a lot.
So many questions.
Yeah, and then also like there'd be people there that might be missing that. Well, no, like you don't even know they're missing because no one is really looking for them because everybody that they know is gone. Maybe, I don't know.
How many kids are missing? Am I right, Quana?
Yeah.
Probably.
No, that's what I hear. I don't know. I don't know if it's true, but somewhere I heard that there's a whole bunch of kids.
Horrible.
Yeah, it's like the worst. It was like the worst.
Yeah, it was
storm.
all kids. Yeah, it was.
And that's right. To be fair,
they had
I think.
Them home.
To be fair, if the information's kind of slow to come out, it's like, okay, if it's that bad and that gruesome and that just devastating, there was just tons of kids. It's like they don't really need to, they can tell us when they tell us. I don't know.
Yeah.
But also they said that they're bringing it. I saw some lady posted a video. I guess lives there, is verified, but she was saying that like they're using cadaver dogs because people are just burnt to a crisp and they have to only a dog knows if there's a human somewhere because that you wouldn't be able to tell.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yes, I've heard all kinds of things. Some from my son, some from TikTok, but it's all locals on TikTok that are talking. I mean, you can see where they're at. So sad.
Yeah.
So crazy. Yeah. I'm just so glad that, like, obviously I'm glad that my son's okay, but if it is like this big conspiracy, whatever, and my son had been gone, I don't think I would be like mentally okay. Like, obviously a parent that loses a child, they're not mentally okay, but I think the conspiracy chapter of it, like, I don't know what I would do. Like, I honestly
you
don't
definitely
know.
would have been going to like, the conventions every year. Like
I would have been like in the airports. I would have, naked protest, chain
it's like a conspiracy, a family of survivors of conspiracy at the Hilton, at the new Lahaina Hilton.
So I told Bill, I'm like, I can't be strong. I can't, God knows that I cannot be this strong. Like, he knows, like, it's fine. I can't be this strong. I kept saying, this isn't real. This isn't real. This isn't real.
Well, I think that he's probably, your boy and, who he's with. They're, you know, they're probably in the class of people that are like head on a swivel and got somewhere to get going. And like a lot of folks were just holed up and didn't really, kind of, I don't know, maybe like mainlanders were just like, okay, this is effed up. Like we got like this, something's not right. And people that were there were just like, oh geez, like, well, the sirens aren't going off and
That's the worst part.
no one's telling us anything and what's going on.
Crazy. That's the worst part.
Kids were home.
the
Yeah.
Sirens.
But it's terrible.
Yeah.
I think it's just like, well, like I said before, the perfect storm of,
All the things.
it's a very remote place. So by nature, everything is going to be more expensive, more scarce. Right. So whether it's like even like a smoke detector costs more there. Like that.
Yeah.
So
Oh my
it's
God,
like-
just shipping him stuff. Like I've had to, I ship my kids things and
Mhm.
just shipping him stuff. Like I bought him a cast iron skillet and the shipping was more than the skillet. You know what I mean? Like it's a
Sure.
lot to get stuff over there. So
Yeah. So just scarcity just creates like a, I don't know. Or it's like, well, I can guarantee you that at some point someone was like, some goody two shoe was like, I petition City Hall to bury the power lines as much as possible, or like update them, or do whatever, or
it's even more nefarious. They like signed some treaty like 3 weeks ago saying like that the only way that the land can be taken over is by some weird thing by natural disaster.
They timed it.
Here
They
we
timed
are.
it just with the
It's like-
wind and power lines going down.
Did you
so
guys see?
crazy.
Did you guys see? Did I send it to you guys where it's the Hawaiian politician where he was talking about how he didn't permit the water to be given to put out fires, and because water is sacred and all that stuff, and then in the
They had
land
the water turned off. The water was
like,
turned off.
dude. Okay,
The
water
water was
face
turned
it,
off,
like,
but
you
the
gotta
power
face it.
lines were not turned off. They knew the hurricane was coming. They didn't deactivate the power lines, but they turned off the water.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, that's weird.
I get it. Water's
Why'd you do
sacred,
that?
but what about life? How about that?
These sound like the excuses of people that just didn't have the training and didn't do, didn't know what to
Yeah.
do. And and for some reason, they just don't want to say, oh, I really fucked up.
Yeah, like I didn't know.
So
I
they're
got
just
hooked
like,
up.
well, protocol and the water, and it was, and well, when the moon is full,
Yeah. Exactly.
I did
When
hear
all the
they said
projects went
something about they didn't use the sirens because the sirens are tsunami sirens, and people. This guy was saying, and you never know, because any oh man, what this guy did was tricky because he mixed in Hawaiian words.
Yeah,
He said something
Mhm.
like, "We didn't want to do the tsunami sirens because we thought people might go maka." But he says, meaning go up into the mountains. It's like, well, if you're gonna say what it means, don't say it. You know what I mean? Like, don't just say
Yeah.
go up in the mountains.
Yeah. Or the world is watching. How about you tell us?
Well, all of the Hawaiian people are saying that there's never been a fire coming from the mountains. There's never been anything coming from the mountains. Anything that's ever happened, it comes the opposite direction. Like they're like the Hawaiian people. I don't know that they're gonna lay down like.
I don't know the geography
Regular
or
folk.
I don't know the exact location of where the first fires, because I've seen people claim that this is a FaceTime video, a live video of when the at 8:30 a.m. when the first, I don't know where that happened, if it was up a little bit up or down, but I don't know if it was like, I don't know if it's a mountain. It's like a kind of a slope. I don't know.
Right.
I think the town kind of goes up
Right.
and then eventually goes up higher, but like it's kind of a gradual slope for a bit.
The crazy part about
mm.
TikTok is that like now that these people are starting to get internet service because this is our world, everybody was like filming. Like there are people that were on Front Street. Obviously they got out, but like the fire's close. Like it's like right there, like the restaurants and stuff. my son, I talked to them yesterday for like 5 minutes, and his girlfriend said, I saved a bunch of lives because she forgot to leave the keys in the lockbox, so the workers couldn't get into the building. They would have been in there working. So because she couldn't get down to bring the keys to open the restaurant for the workers to get in, she forgot to put them in the lockbox. They had to go home because the roads were blocked. She couldn't get down to the restaurant. So she's like, I saved a bunch of lives. I feel pretty good about myself today.
All right, ready to get started?
Yep.
Then we can continue.
Give me one more. Just go for the audio.
Okay, we'll do.
Three, two, one. Let's go.
It says 163, eh?
Yep.
All right.
3, 2, 1. Let's roll.
Good evening, Endless Ranters. Welcome back for episode 162 of your Endless Ranters podcast. We do what we want, and we appreciate your support. My name is Chris, and I'm one of your hosts for this evening. I'm joined by the one and only Robbie Spotlight. Almost forgot, man, because you've been, been a busy man. But it's Robbie Spotlight, everybody.
What's up, everybody? Yeah, I missed you guys. Sorry.
We missed you too.
He's been busy fighting the feminist.
I was mad, and then
ally.
you said I miss you. It's like you just melted my heart.
Yeah,
so. It's a soggy mom living in a crunchy mom's world. Kwana, how you doing?
Mahalo. I'm good.
I'm sorry. It's a soggy egg producer living in
Oh
a
my God.
crunchy mom.
That sounds so
I'm
gross.
not
egg producers world. I'm sorry. Is that offensive? I don't understand.
It's a sore subject, Christopher.
I was told that.
Subject.
Okay, anyway. Sorry.
Move it along, Christopher.
It's the man with the plan. It's producer Manny. What's going down, old man?
Chilling, astonished as to how horribly the government has been responding to everything happening on the island. Maui, of course. Yeah. I wasn't talking about hedonism, the island. I'm actually talking about Hawaii.
Hedonism too.
Yeah.
I remember seeing HBO specials about hedonism 2. You know what I'm talking about?
I've heard of it.
And it was hedonism 2, but it was always 2 for some reason.
Because 1 wasn't enough, man. They had to hit you.
I don't know. Maybe
more.
by the time I came along and had actually paid HBO, not scrambled HBO, they had moved on to a second island or something.
Right.
But it was 2.
Scrambled TV was so good. Remember the black box? You had your friend come hook that.
Oh yeah.
Up.
I think I saw nipple there. Yeah.
Yep.
I just had scrambled in my brain, which learned to unscramble it in my brain. But then I don't know what if I've ever had counterfeit cable or counterfeit satellite.
You haven't?
I don't know if I have.
Oh.
You're not doing your due diligence as an American citizen.
I know. I'm kind of
You've never been poor. Just never been.
Well, I've just had no TV. I just said I had I watched, enjoyed myself to some scrambled television before. Just said that. But no.
Scrambled paid channels and no channels are 2 different things. Like that means you have a service, but you're scrambling the paid channels.
And okay.
Yeah.
Fine. You're right. No, I think maybe I might have had like a satellite dish with a chip in it or like a card in it or something like that for a brief period. But then, I had a friend but then they would do, like DirecTV would do something or Dish would do something and then it wouldn't work all of a sudden. So it's kind of,
they totally harsh on your mail, man. That's what they do.
Totally.
I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and give this company 60, 80, whatever it was a month, so I can not, so this doesn't happen, Sunday afternoon.
Stop gatekeeping me, bro.
Yeah. And then I was like, now I got to drive down to Tony's house and have him fucking put this thing in his computer.
We already know how you feel about Tony anyway, so I mean,
yeah, I don't know.
They wouldn't have been.
Yeah. Yeah, it was far away. But yeah, I think that might have been it. I don't know, but you have, but now Karma's coming to get you because now you got like a $400 a month Comcast or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
You got
easily.
like a ball. Yeah.
Easily.
The
easily. So
cable,
many.
ball and
and-
chain.
Yeah, we got the
And-
cable ball and chain that we don't know how to disconnect from. And we
No,
also have like an
you
Amazon
choose not to.
TV that has like a ton of things, and we have Netflix, and then we have like there's so many things, and we're paying for all of them. Like if we just had one smart person that could come over and be like, no, this is how we're doing it. But we don't have that. We only have the smart cable guy that comes and says, no, you need us and them and that guy and that guy.
You don't
Oh.
need any of that, Quana. We'll tell you right now.
Okay. Adam always talks about like, doesn't he do like an ad for one of those companies that like simplifies your stuff? I'm
Hmm.
curious.
He
but
did
I don't
it.
know how to
He
work
did
it.
at some point. Yeah. Yeah. I remember
I don't
when
know
he
about
did an ad
now.
at one point for like an IT consulting service. Like, I was like, well,
He needs
Yeah.
it.
I
Worse
guess,
than
yeah.
me. Yeah.
I think, yeah, for Adam Carolla, there it was a dark week. Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
what they call it for Adam Carolla's show.
Yeah.
But they didn't.
Oh, I thought you meant
I
that
guess you
show
had to
took a
kind of
dark
you had to kind of be
turn.
in the know. Yeah, you had to be in the know. I guess
Mhm.
because they tweeted about it Monday morning when everybody was asking, "Hey,
Yeah.
where's the new show?" Like, and then they put out a tweet like, "Hey, everybody,
Like, oh yeah.
we'll be back
Right.
next week." Yeah, you know, we told you. Yeah, we told you, right? Yeah, I meant to tell you. Don't worry about it. We'll see you next
No.
week.
Same week every year.
We were
Right.
not on that Zoom call. Sorry, guys.
I was not briefed. I missed the memo.
They're
I
like,
overslept.
come on, listeners, you heard him talk about the show he was going to a couple weeks ago. Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Come on, you got to pick up on things.
Yeah.
Hey, so speaking about picking up on things, now that Rob's joined us once again, I gotta ask, give us an update on San Fran, bro. How are things going up there?
Same as usual.
Any sign of
People-
improvement? Trying to make a change in a positive direction, or is still the same?
No.
I don't think Mole Man's been in our chat a lot this week.
I don't think. I don't think.
Sorry.
don't-
Crazy with a chance of saliva.
We're going to
yeah.
war, man. Didn't you get the call?
No, I didn't.
You got to be heading north, bro.
Fill me in, man. Fill me
Okay,
in.
so
Bring your chains.
yesterday morning I'm walking. Every morning I walk my wife to work. So we park. I walk around the block, walk her to the door, and then from there I walk about 5-6 blocks to my work. And this is usually around 5:45 a.m. Still a little dark around this time. So I'm walking by this Macy's, this touristy area. Obviously, there's no one around yet because real slow. Some construction workers nearby. I'm
It was
listening.
dark, right?
It was dark. Yeah, it was
Okay.
dark, but there's lights in some of the businesses that are closed. But I'm listening to my AirPods. I have Beastie Boys Sabotage on. And,
How appropriate, how fitting.
how appropriate. And then this guy, as I see people approach or get close, I kind of move to the side, and some people don't know their space, their boundaries, so they their personal space. So I kind of moved a little bit, but I see this guy get a little closer, and he's like screamed something at me. I was like, huh? What? And then all of a sudden, spit on my face, like literally, not because he was screaming, he literally spat on my face. And I took my AirPods off. I didn't ask him, did you just spit on my face? Did you really just spit on my face? I said, oh, hell no. So I got my phone. I should have just not called, but I got my phone. I called 911, and I started walking behind this guy, because I think this guy thought I wasn't being serious, and he thought, oh, this guy's just gonna walk away like everybody else does. And then when he realized that I was actually on the phone with an operator, he started running. So I'm on the phone with the operator, running, and I'm trying to give him the description. And I'm crossing. He crossed the middle of the street. I'm like, he's got tight blue jeans, like these tight pants. What do you got? The skinny jeans. He's about 30 years.
Oh, it makes it even worse.
I know.
No, I was like,
No,
that
you know
is
what?
the worst part of this whole story.
You know what makes it even worse? He was wearing a black sweatshirt. In the back, I think it was a NASCAR, and he was not your typical NASCAR type of person, but I believe it was
Was it Dale Earnhardt?
no, I don't. It was a number
Oh, okay.
21. Number 21.
Yeah, that's nobody.
I
Chase
don't
Elliott,
know.
whatever.
Christopher, the way you said Dale Earnhardt.
I know.
You said it as one
It's
word.
such concern.
I mean, if he had like number, like an intimidator jack, like a full on, number 3
No.
intimidator
If
jacket
it was
on him, it's like
Bubba, if it was
I'm starting to think, what did you do?
what's his face, right? And then all of a sudden, the
Or maybe
operator,
Rob was wearing his Jeff Gordon jacket.
yeah. And
Nah,
then
he don't
the
know.
operator goes,
Not on weekdays.
sir, I can't hear you. It sounds like you're running. I'm like, yeah, it's because I am running. I'm chasing the guy. Sir, can you stop? He might be armed. I said, no, I don't care. I said, I don't care. I'm gonna get him. Sir. I'm like, nope, no, sir. And I'm running. The operator I can't hear. They're not talking. Where are you at now? I'm on Powell. I'm on Geary on Powell. He's making a left on Geary on Powell. He makes a left. He's running. And literally across the street, there's another crazy guy screaming at someone. This is San Francisco. This is like there's some other dramas going on.
Yeah, man. You need to get like a boomerang, goddamn fucking javelin to start hurling at people.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. I need
I
a
have the
old
boomerang.
style, David versus Goliath sling out there. That ain't outlawed. They didn't outlaw that yet.
Yeah. So the eventually, I don't know what happened. The guy got away. So this is right here. This is my face right there. You can't really see it, but as evidence, I took. That's not a tear down my face. That's spit.
Looks like
That's spit.
jizz.
Yes, it does. It really does.
How's that helping, Manny? How's that going to help?
This is the kind of face I'll make at Manny right now. I'm rolling my eyes. I'm rolling my eyes at Manny right now. So, yeah, and what I'm
okay,
what
Robbie,
Chris
listen.
Yeah.
Listen.
Oh my god.
I know you saw his face. I feel like
Oh.
you gotta go back to the scene of the crime, brother. You gotta
Yeah, I'd
break
stalk it
his
out.
jaw so
I
that
went
no
the next
one
day.
else. Oh, never mind. I take that back because we're gonna get taken off YouTube. You gotta talk to that brother.
The next day I show it's on this corner. This is where it happened. This is the amount of lighting there was. For those that watch on YouTube, you need to watch YouTube, subscribe. And then there's also literally a couple feet away, there's a camera. There's this camera right here. So I don't know if it was on or not, but if the detectives actually did their detecting, they could probably find
They're
something.
not detecting.
To
They're
do
busy.
what?
They
To do
gotta-
what? To do
Nothing,
nothing. To do
nothing.
nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
it's
gotta protect
goddamn.
the
It's
people.
ridiculous. I mean,
Next time I'm not calling 911 anymore.
the deal's off. The deal. I mean, at some point, I'm not saying it. I'm not advocating. I'm just
It's
at some
street
point,
justice from here
people
on
are
out.
People are gonna start saying, not even just in their mind, they're gonna be like, the deal is off.
Yeah.
The deal is off.
I'm ready to go.
And it's unfortunate that you're realizing this after you allowed them to put cameras up everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go Charles Bronson on these people. I'm not kidding. But the only thing that came to
Not the
mind,
version where he was choking in a closet. Not that
Charles
version,
Bronson,
right?
they didn't have damn CCTV on every corner when he was,
No.
shooting people in kneecaps and whatnot.
Hey, there's a part in one of the movies where Charles Bronson made a guy swallow his own watch. He swallowed his own watch. He made him.
Is
swallow
this
his
a
own
deleted
watch.
scene from Pulp Fiction?
No, it's actual stuff.
Okay.
But guy got away, unfortunately. But I gave him a good run. Police, they were like, oh, stay where you're at. I'm like, no, I told them I'm gonna go look for him. And I started walking. Police stopped by, took a description, got a police report, and I gave him all the info. The guy can hop on a bus real quick. He can hop on a train. He could. After the police left, I looked for him. I looked for him for a good 20 minutes. I walked a few blocks looking for him.
I think you need to look for him tomorrow.
Oh,
and
yeah.
every day until you find him.
Oh, I know what he looks like. He looks like I don't know, a mix between one of the Black Eyed Peas, the kind of Hispanic one. No, not the Hispanic one. The
Robbie,
Filipino
was he
one.
homeless or just an asshole?
Probably both. He might have had something, maybe a screw loose. He didn't look too homeless. He didn't look the most homeless out of all the homeless I see every day. But yeah, that's San Francisco for you. Now, I've talked to people that tell me, oh, it's always been this bad. It's just now that politically they're pushing this agenda. I don't remember it being this bad.
I can tell you, like, so before Bill O'Reilly got fired for trying to bang all the women that he'd have on a show,
Yeah.
sometimes
Don't
successfully.
hate the player, hate the game.
Do it live.
Quanah's like, I was never on the show. Why not? But no, like before he got kicked off, he would actually, I remember he did a segment that was all about like, and at this point it was basic. It was like, yeah, I don't know what's going on. You know, I park my car on the street out here every night, and all of a sudden it just gets broken into every night. It was like, I think it was like that was the very beginning, I think, when some of the policies were just starting to, where like the people that were figuring out that they could get away with it were just like petty car thieves.
Yeah.
Right.
And they were just, and he did a segment specifically on that. This is like, man, like mid 2015, 2016, 17, where, yeah, that was, it was just like people just having their car smashed in and there's nothing they could do about it.
It is kind of like they're boiling up the heat though, a little bit. Like they talk about that frog that you put in the water and you turn up, turn up, turn up. It's
Yeah,
like that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing to us. Like little by little by little by little by little. Like your city's inhabitable.
What's funny is people think that like they say it like, look, it's always been like this. Okay, well, maybe we should improve it.
Yeah.
Why is this? Should you be proud that it's always been like this? How about let's change it?
Well, they're just lying. That's just a lie.
There hasn't always been.
I'm saying it started a while back, but it's not.
Yeah.
Like no, I'm sorry. No, I'm pretty sure back in the days of the Rice-A-Roni commercials, you know, and the whatever the whatever those things. What are those streetcars?
Yeah, the streetcar, the cable cars.
Name Desire streetcar.
For a fact, I remember watching those commercials. Nobody shitting on the streets.
No,
that's right.
San Francisco used to be like, it was so romantic. I mean, Marilyn Monroe and Joe DiMaggio got married in Little Italy. Like San Francisco, you should go there and eat all the good foods and walk the streets. Walking the streets was part of going to San Francisco.
Oh,
like, going to the little Noe Valley and all the little neighborhoods.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll never go back. Like those are just memories now. It's just
maybe they could say that it's a place where people have always pushed the limits, maybe.
Sure.
I'm a Grateful Dead fan. Like Grateful Dead set up shop there, right? They were like, they got run out of town because they were just
any chance you get to bring in the Grateful Dead.
It was cool at first, but then like at some point the cops and the normies were just like, all right, you got to get out of here. Like,
so we had enough of your shit.
Yeah, like go experiment, somewhere else.
Go jam somewhere else with your band, man.
Yeah,
maybe that's it, but I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure that like, that wasn't part of the deadhead culture back then. Like that the people were getting spit on all the time by crazy people on the streets. Like it's more like,
and I hear,
and if there was any spitting going on, it was consensual spitting.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That seems like a fentanyl problem that people are spitting on. Like it seems like a drug problem, like a.
Oh yeah, I shared a picture. I shared a picture a couple of days ago on our chat, and there was this guy. He was laying down, looked like he had just finished either having a seizure or throwing up, or mixture of both. Someone called the paramedics. I had just seen him. I approached them, and a lady goes, "I already called the paramedics." They showed up right away. As soon as they showed up, they had the gurney. They were walking there. It was like about 5 of them, like 5 paramedics. I guess a couple of firefighters or whatever. But as soon as they approached, the guy gets up on his own. He's like, I'm okay. And they walked away on his own. So there you go.
What if these paramedics, because I'm thinking like the paramedics in my town get zero action. Mm-hmm. Zero action.
They're itching for something to do. Are you suggesting
we need to start like
a paramedic exchange program where we send ones from boring?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
The guy that lives across the street that fixed my Achilles, he's a paramedic and he drives to his car just turned over 500,000 miles. He drives to San Francisco every day to go to work.
Yeah. Wow.
Because they pay like it's like double or triple
Yeah,
or
well, I hope so.
whatever.
Yeah, good. That's good at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you gotta be
And
busy.
it's
You'll be good.
yeah, 500,000 miles on his little Honda from driving back and forth to San Francisco. Crazy.
It's
Yeah.
also
I can't
probably
imagine the things
pretty
that he
easy to
sees.
make some, make medications disappear. Like, huh.
No, like they're like the sweetest people. Those people, not them. Anybody
Oh,
else,
totally.
but those that like
Yeah.
those are angels that live across the street from me. He came over and fixed my Achilles for me. He's my doctor. I'm like, oh, I have a cut on my head. Is Dave up? Is he home? Can he come butterfly this shit?
Meanwhile, I was like, fuck this accident prone bitch. Won't
He's
you
like,
leave me
here's
alone?
here, take this vial of morphine, and it's good. No, don't worry about it. It's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah, man. That's just I'm really not comfortable with this because can't even say what I would do or text you what I would do.
Mhm.
For fear of
Bill has been telling
incrimination.
me. Bill has been
Yeah.
telling me what he would do since I told him that it happened to you. We'll
Oh,
be
yeah.
at a stoplight, and he's like, "If I was in San Francisco and that happened to me," and then he goes into another tirade about what he
Yeah,
would do
yeah.
if that happened to him.
Oh yeah, I shouldn't have called. Because I'm running with the one hand with the phone, and no, I could have taken the guy. I don't know. I just there's no more 911. I'm done.
You needed backup. No time for backup,
No,
brother.
no,
That's
yeah, no
no
time.
time for backup.
No,
Actually,
nobody.
it's fun.
Yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned no more 911 next time, because I had an incident a few weeks ago where I was returning to the hub for work, and I was near the 405, and part of the shoulder was on fire. Like, like how they'll have what is it, the embankment with grass. So I did what I could with my phone, got a hold of the LA Fire Department. It was like, oh, you're gonna have to call 911 for that. I was like, but you're the fire department. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, but, and they gave me the explanation. I was like, all right. After about attempts, I finally got through 911 to a dispatcher, and I told her, it was just like, hey, part of the embankment's on fire over here, send a crew. And then, but still, it's just like the most LA thing. It's just like, call the fire department, we can't help you. You gotta call you gotta call 911 first. But then when you call 911, you gotta attempt like 4 or 5 different times to get
I
through.
think it would have been awesome if he would have like whipped out an iPad and been like, yeah, have you checked in? And then he like flips it on, and then you gotta like tap it. Like he just gives you an iPad for this. And you tap in your phone number and then you get connected.
Wait.
But on the iPad he's holding, like he can't take the call, but
it's just funny little
he's got a key, he's got a handheld kiosk for you.
Can you
It's like, I
imagine if
get you.
you're the person that needs the need? Imagine if that was like a car on fire on the side of the road that Manny was calling to be a good Samaritan, and he
Mhm.
called the wrong number. Like,
Yeah, that really I don't know what people can do, but at some point, like people are just like, whoa, I'm paying all this, but then when I have a problem, like
Is this what I'm
not
paying
coming.
for?
no one's coming to help me.
Yeah.
Like, and even
Yeah.
and like, I can see the problem coming. Like I can see the mudslide coming down the hill, and I'm calling and no one's coming to help me. And it's like,
Or they're just gaslighting you by saying, "Oh, it's not going to be that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Don't worry
Yeah,
about it.
or it's
You'll
like-
They're not
get
even
through
talking
this."
about it. Yeah.
You're or like your call is important to us. Please remain on the line. Like,
Yes.
okay.
With some of the most annoying hold music ever.
I mean, in the
Oh.
history of humankind, and people start having erratic thoughts when they get in situations where it's like, hold on, I kept up my part of the deal and you're not keeping up your part of the deal.
Yeah.
Whether it's the Lord or the king or whatever, it's like, or the governor or the Maui siren button
Mhm.
pusher guy. It's like, people are just like, I kept up my part of the deal. I've been paying, following all the rules, and then
This is what I get. This is what we get.
don't
Yeah.
get anything. Yeah. And then,
Yeah.
then,
It
then
sounds
not only
like
do you
it's
not help me, but you put me in further danger. Like, okay. All right.
Mhm.
What are you going to say, Quana?
It sounds like a conspiracy, but like I think that more and more people are waking up. Like I think that as these things unfold, like it's like, wait, that like the government can do something like that? Like, oh, that's a thing. So I mean, yes, I don't know.
I think
Wake
people
'em
that
up.
kind of are paying, I don't know. people are just different. Like I've been paying attention to government and politics for a long time, and that's just kind of always been my angle looking at it. Like, man, like they can't do that. Like, like even things like if someone wants to have like a car, like a junk rusted up car in their front lawn and there's no law against it, they can do it. Like I know you don't like it,
Right.
I know you don't like it, but like you can't just make up stuff and, make up rules because you don't like it,
The government is like a big HOA.
But some people, but I mean, I'm it's some people live in a world where to them it's just like, oh yes, we can. Like, yeah, we just don't really like you. We don't like kind of where you're coming from. We don't really like
what you're about.
We don't really like the way you laugh, Tucker Carlson. We feel, just don't really like your bow tie. So we're just like, we're just gonna do whatever we want to you. We'll just say whatever we want, do whatever we want. Like some people like have just a completely different outlook on, how to get where they want to go, which is like they can just do whatever, make up the rules as they go along. I don't know. It's crazy.
Convenient rules, and I think that people get comfortable in them. In my own house, like speaking about things that are uncomfortable or maybe you don't think that is possible or unimaginable. If those things are happening and they're clear as day, like maybe you should just not think that like things are just always going to be easy or how you think that they should be. Like maybe things are different in 2023.
Oh yeah. So I listen to Tim Pool quite a bit, like off and on. He's coming under a lot of heat today because he had like a show with some political, I don't know, some political operatives basically. But anyway, he talks about something I think is very interesting, which is like an optimism bias. The people just have an optimism bias. Like I've been alive for 51 years and things have been going okay. So I'm just like, oh, well, things will continue to be that way. It's like, oh, I don't know. Like that's what everybody thought when like the 19 teens or, leading up to World War I or World War II. Everybody's just like, I don't know. I've been around for 25, 30 years. Everything seems to be going fine. It's like, oh, uh-oh.
Yeah.
The Great Depression.
The stock market just crashed. It's like, yeah. So there's an optimism bias, or there's another one he talks about, but yeah, that's kind of it. Like, yeah, it's just,
it's fine.
And it's also like it's something, it's like kind of what we need for humans. We need an optimism
Believe
bias.
that it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. Because you can get, it feels a little unhinged sometimes to have like all of the collective thoughts of things that I've seen and things that I've heard and pictures and, like it's me or my lion eyes. Like people will tell me, oh, that's not real. I'm like, wait a second, but I literally saw it with my eyes and then it's not on Google anymore, but then I'm the crazy person. So yeah, it's better.
Yeah,
just
people
be
should
quiet
try
and
to
have
see
that
as much as they
optimism.
can, see as much as they can, see as much as you can.
Early on too,
Yeah.
because it disappears, like things disappear, they just go away, like they get buried or suppressed. I guess we learned that during COVID that there's some suppression of news. So if there's something happening, try and get as much information as you can early on.
Yeah.
That's just the lesson.
I don't know what to think about it because it's even after all that, after 2020, COVID, 2021, even 2022, it's like there's some people that'll still be like, well, the CDC told me that my kid's lunchbox should be 40.2 degrees minimum. Like it's like, oh, like
at all times.
Really? Like you're still listening? You're like, you really like, no.
Remember when people were wiping off their groceries with, wipes and all that stuff?
Disinfectant wipes, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember hearing about it, but it's like, I don't know. I remember thinking maybe like, I guess I'm going to die because I'm really just way too lazy for that. This is going to get, if that's what you got to do, I'm gone.
I waited in line for about an hour to get into Costco one time.
Was it worth the wait?
It was still worth the wait. I got some pizza, Costco pizza. Can't beat that.
I just sent Bill to the stores because he's one of those people that will like he doesn't care about other people's like being mad at him or inconveniencing other people. I'll never forget he went right up to the deli where he always just takes all of his stuff to the deli, whether he has 20 items or whatever. He's like, ring this up for me. Like he tells people he brought his whole basket over. He's like, no, they were all standing in line, but they checked my stuff out. No problem. I was like, all right, you're our grocery go-to.
I
You're
wish I
taking all
could
the grocery
have whatever that is that
I
that
know.
motivate that has him live like that. I need that in my life.
Yep, no fucks given. Zero for anybody else in any situation around him ever. None. Zero. Why are you doing that? Me first.
Did he have a rough upbringing where he had to resort to that type of
I've told you about his dad. I mean, the
Mm.
cruise at 80 or whatever.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
The man's living his
Yeah.
best life. Yes,
He's ahead of schedule as far as not giving an F. He's like, that'll be me at 70.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I have a lot of patience, I feel, until until I don't anymore. But I usually have a lot of patience, but then you can
Then you start
telling-
chasing people.
Then I start, hey, yeah. Now the next step is, like I said, no 911. First step is
Yeah.
being I've gotten sucker. I think I already told you. I'm not going to tell the whole story, but I've said it before. I got sucker punched one time years ago. It was like in 2008, something like that, 2007. I got sucker punched. This guy in a van, mortuary van across the street, saw me, honked. He goes, "Get inside." I saw who they were. We got in. We kind of followed. We didn't really go chasing, but we followed them until they got to a kind of shady part of the city. But I got on 911 as well. I said, "Hey, this is
And they
what's
let
going
you
on.
down.
This is what." And yeah, they were like, "Why are you following? Don't follow them." I'm like, "They're gonna get away," and then of course they did.
You called them yesterday. They were
don't
like,
care
you,
about your
you again,
Yeah.
You again.
Yeah.
sir. We only take 1-2 calls every decade.
I'm like, yeah, put it on my tab. So what the cops, what they did was I was at work. I was working at that time, evening, and then they stopped by my work place and they said, "Hey, we got a couple guys. Can you come and take a look at them?" I said, "Sure." I got inside
Dang,
the
a
cop car.
lineup.
Yeah.
Line
So
up.
Dang.
so I did get inside the cop car. So I've been in the back of a cop car before once. And then they actually
Show
had a
off.
couple guys nearby outside. It was outside near the bus stop. They flashed their lights, their car lights, on them. And they said, "Okay, what do you think? Are these the guys?" And literally what I told them, I said, "Look, I'm sure these guys are not innocent of stuff, but I don't think these are the guys. Sorry." And
Oh,
I don't want to. I know I could have just said, "Yeah, it's
No
that douchebag."
profiling. Robbie,
Yeah.
Robbie, no profiling spotlight.
Yeah, exactly. So I didn't.
I don't
didn't
think that's
profile.
profile. I think that's just straight up lying.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. So I didn't.
That's
I
just
could have.
that's just straight up framing somebody.
Yeah, I could have framed somebody, but I didn't. So
Good on you, man.
Yeah. And then whatever.
I'm gonna
Okay.
not really congratulate you because I feel like it's just kind of like what
Yeah.
I feel like you're not okay still though. Like, do you feel it on your face? Like, are you reliving it? Is there any type of trauma?
No,
like
but you know
somebody
what?
spit,
You know what makes
some
it worse?
homeless person.
You should
spit
definitely be
in
able to
your
get you
face?
should definitely be able to buy a gun now.
You're not gonna
Um,
develop a weird kink where you have your wife spit on you out of
Oh
nowhere.
my god!
Well,
It's like, listen,
Too
I know it's gonna be
late.
weird,
Too
but
late.
well.
every
Too
once in a
late.
while, I just want you to spit on me with no warning. Just
I mean, at least it hurts
You'd
less.
be the worst counselor, man. Yeah, I tell you what.
this is why I didn't go down the counseling route, man. I'm not the one to dispense advice or
Yeah.
any type of counseling.
Looks a little like jizz. I gotta tell you.
Well, it did. I thought that too.
Robbie,
I guess I can-
I'm
Well,
sorry.
now I'm thinking like
I can
That's
sell
a
that
good reason
picture on
why.
OnlyFans.
Probably.
Look, we're not telling you what
Because-
to do, so just
I'm in San
proceed as you
Francisco.
Oh boy.
proceed as you see fit.
I don't know, man. I really,
Am I happy?
I might run over a panhandler tomorrow morning just
Good. In my honor. Well,
just
you know what makes me
just to feel something, just to feel something.
You know what makes me feel worse about it is later on that day, my wife tells me, you should have kicked his ass. I'm like, thanks, thank you, thank you, thank you.
You
Like,
feel
okay.
vindicated. At least
Yeah,
you.
but still, like, I'm over here thinking about my 8-month-old daughter, and
Uh-huh.
like, what if he did have a knife? My daughter grows up with either no dad or some douchebag that steps in and cashes in on my life insurance. And you know,
Well, what can you get? Like, what could you get? Like, could you get like maybe you tell her like, yeah, I need to get a gun? Would she say yes right now?
she's not opposed to guns, so she maybe would say,
Okay,
obviously,
okay.
yeah.
Hear me out. Then what you're gonna do is be like, I want to get an AR-15. So not
Okay.
just not a regular gun, like something
Yeah.
like up it up. If she's open to it,
Uh-huh.
you know.
Yeah. Okay.
And then when she's just like, oh, that's really cool looking, then then you're just like,
The kids in Chicago are
maybe I
walking
do.
around with them on their shoulders,
Yeah,
like in the
exactly.
middle, like they're just walking through the city
Exactly.
with AR-15
Yeah,
strapped to
she-
them. I mean, Robbie, be
Yeah.
innovative.
Yeah.
You're in a stylish city. Get
And
a
then
cute one.
you just be like, you know what? On set, after you get that, of course, you'd be like, I should get something smaller.
Yeah. What is it? I should get a Friday night special. Is that what they're called? Remember
Saturday
those?
night special.
Saturday night special.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, it's 2023, man. Any night,
Any
Live
night
your
can be
truth,
special.
All
bro.
night
Any night
kitty
can be Saturday
special.
night.
it's a Wednesday morning special.
Last night, it was really great.
It's a Wednesday
night.
morning, 5:30 a.m. San Francisco special.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, maybe some kind of non-lethal,
Yeah.
Oh,
something
yeah.
to just, I don't know, man.
There's,
I gotta someone,
A company called Berna. I think they make non-lethal weapons.
Yeah. I've seen those. Well, look,
Lars talks about it a lot in the admin group. There you go. That's why I know
Okay.
about it.
yeah, I might have to talk to Lars over there. Yeah, my wife
need
is
a
it's
not
gotta be
rape
something.
whistle.
It's gotta be something you hit
You need a
somebody
rape
with, though.
whistle.
rape
A
whistle,
rape
yeah.
whistle.
Yeah, you got to be able to hit someone with it, though.
I need a rape whistle so my wife can jump my bones if I, oh, it's time.
What if you
But,
kicked that dude's
there
ass?
should
Would
be a
she have been a
whistle.
little bit more like,
Yeah.
how you doing, Poppy?
There should be a
I was gonna her ex. I was gonna fight her ex one time and she stopped me. I was gonna get
I mean, you
him.
could have told her that you kicked the guy's ass. You could have ended the story.
She has seen me throw down before. She's seen me throw down. Like, she knows. I gotta calm down sometimes.
what if there's a telescoping spring-loaded baton
Yeah.
that also is a mini EMP that would disable any CCTV cameras?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Then
Now
you
you're thinking like
really-
Batman.
Then you really
This
go to
video
town.
is definitely getting removed. I can feel it.
For violence and inciting
Yeah, I've been
violence.
very careful.
Ideas.
But you know what? The
Wild
wife
ideas.
she's not opposed to guns because not to spill out too much of her life out there, but apparently she had an ex that
She's
was
about to. She's
yeah,
about
yeah.
to.
Yeah, she had an ex that was like some federale or some crap that I found out that may or may not have, but how back in Mexico may or may not have been some of these
A
cops
spitter.
some of these cops can be a little corrupt in the old country, if you know what I mean.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, so she knows her guns from what I understand. Yeah.
Dude, you
But,
should have her teach you.
Yeah,
Maybe she should be walking you to your office.
Maybe I should teach her how to fish.
Yeah. A fellow acehole of ours, we hung out at his place, her and I, and he just started showing me all his guns. He's been on the show. I shall not name him because I don't want him on a registry. But he said, "This is my shotgun. This is my this one. This is my 9. This is my this." He showed me like 8 or 9 guns. I'm like, heck yeah, man. Yeah.
Is this an asshole that can't fight?
I don't know. This isn't no. He's
Okay.
he-
Okay.
Maybe he could fight. Maybe he's a very nice guy. He's been on that. He may or not be
Okay.
getting married in the near future.
Okay, yeah, that's the
Yeah.
one that can't fight. Yeah, specifically.
I think he's the lover, not a fighter.
Yeah,
Wow,
Kylie tried to
guys.
start a fight and she was yelling at some dudes. He's like, Kylie, I can't fight. And there was like two dudes in a parking lot, and Kylie was like,
Yeah.
"What are you looking at?"
Yeah,
It was obviously, yeah.
Yeah,
That
me,
a-holes girl.
I'm the one. Look, my wife and I yesterday we were kind of having a little argument. It's sort of like a back and forth, and my 20-year-old stepdaughter was there, and she goes, I agree with you, but I think it's in the delivery that you may want to change.
Oh,
Maybe it's the
It's
tone.
all in the delivery, bro.
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
But I was telling my wife, I appreciate her because she was trying to kind of calm things down and kind of make everybody kind of chill out. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because we've been having stuff, not it's not marital stuff, but it's how things from outside of the family or within the family that when you try to help, you have a disagreement, and then they think this way, and then maybe we think the same way, but we want to go about it a different way, and then it's just conflicts. It creates conflict. So anyways, I appreciated that about my stepdaughter, because she was trying to calm things, and not that we were screaming. No, there was no screaming or anything like that, but it was
Right.
you get each other a little bit of attitude and a little condescending this and that.
Mhm.
But
Well, a stepdaughter can see both sides. She can see what's good for her mother, but she can also see the flaws in her mother, and she can
yeah,
see that what's wrong in you probably and
yeah,
what is good in you. So it's a
exactly. And you know
good
what?
neutral.
I like that about her, because she tells me, look, you're not wrong. I agree with you. It's just maybe you should put it this way instead of that way, instead of at one point she said that I was being you were being a little bit of dramatic, she said. So
Oh,
yeah,
about being spat upon.
Oh, no, this is something different. This is about some
Okay.
family. We're helping some family out, and Adam Carolla says the people that you hate, I mean, the people that you help the most are the ones that end up hating you the most,
Right.
right? So that's kind of what we're going through right now. We have helped some family out, but then we hear that they're not being honest about some things, and I'm like, okay, well, we don't need to help them if they're going to be lying about things, so you can only help people so much.
Yeah.
And you're
gotcha.
still helping them out. You still want to help them out because you don't want them to be going down the wrong path, or end up in a situation that they might regret being in. But at the same time, it annoys you when they're not completely honest with you about things. So
Understood.
yeah, but again, like I said, I do appreciate when
You understand it though, right? Like how when they're dishonest with you, they're like telling you the truth though. You know what I mean? I know I'm just jumping in here, but I
no,
know
no,
what
no.
you're talking about.
No, you're right.
He's
Because
familiar.
Like you learn a lot. You learn what like when they don't, when something and they're not telling you the truth. It's like, oh, okay.
no, yeah, look, you want to sit. I'm one of those where I'm like, okay, I know you're lying, but okay, I'm just gonna see how far you can get with this lie.
Or it's like, well, they're lying because they want to hide something that they find embarrassing or like that they're ashamed of. Like you're learning about like something that there's a part of the story that, like they're telling you a lot. But there's one part that they don't want to tell you about. Well, there's something there that's like,
oh, whoops, I'm not gonna tell them the part where I messed up, and this falls on me mostly, but yeah. But yeah, I was telling
leaving out big parts like that. Yeah, sure.
But
like the part where she hit him first. I'm just kidding.
Exactly. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, I was telling Quana and Manny and everybody that this stepdaughter, she recognizes the flaws in both of us, and then when the wife and I were having kind of disagreement, she tries to kind of, all right, guys, just chill out, and not, we don't scream at each other, but she says, I see your point. You just it's in the delivery. It's how you say it. You might want to say it differently.
Oh, next time she hits you with that, be like, look, it's not attitude, it's passion. All right. I'm passionate. Right. I get this way because of passion. All right. Anyway.
I do get passionate. I don't
know. You guys can't, like maybe, I don't know. I think maybe that causes her some stress. She shouldn't have to like, help you to.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I even, I told her, I said, you're right. I said,
you'd be like,
you're
so
right.
you should tell her, like, you turn it, pipe down.
Yeah,
like, the grown-ups are talking. All right.
I should tell her, you know what? You're just like your mom. But you know
Wow,
what's fun?
dude.
You know what's funny about it? If I can say something funny about her, is,
Hey, Quanta's back. Chill out.
oh, never mind. We'll
For you
stop
guys.
talking about women.
It's all
But
about
you know,
respect and honesty, Rob.
yeah.
Truth.
I-
And,
I appreciate, even if, you know, some people, even if they're not the friendliest and most maybe considerate, you appreciate their honesty, because you know, sometimes their intentions are because they care, but they still are the way they are. So yesterday she was going to pick me up from work, because my wife said, hey, she's nearby, she can drive you home, you know, if you want. She said she's going to pick you up. I said, great, cool. So she picks me up, there's a lot of traffic, and she goes, yeah, you know, I was in the neighborhood, so I was in a building nearby, so you know, I decided I could pick you up. And she goes, and anyway, since I have you in the car, now I can go down the carpool lane, so it's even better. So I'm like, so you're using me. You're using me. You wanted to pick me up because you can go through the carpool lane.
surprise, surprise.
Yeah, surprise.
What does that get you there? Just faster? Does it save you money?
Faster. Yeah.
Well, it's a win-win,
Well-
though, right?
Yeah.
Still a
You know,
win-win.
I said it. Oh, that's fine. You know, it's cool.
Get
It's all
used
right.
to daughters using you for their benefit.
Oh,
Get used
man.
to daughters using you for their benefit. Period.
Oh no, I'm used to the 8-year-old when he, you know, I bought him a new pair. He wanted a new pair, not a new pair, but some retro Jordans. And then so I got it from him. But I don't like, I like the kids to earn, you know, all that stuff. So anyways, he was asking his mom for you know, points for his Roblox and stuff like that a few days ago. And I said, hey, remember the shoes I got you? Remember you wanted those? That's expensive. He goes, yeah, that was 2 weeks ago.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, that was 2 weeks ago. Okay.
This
That was
kid is
too-
like accustomed to a steady drip of just
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I forgot I owe you something each week. Yeah. So
Yeah.
what about you, Chris? I doubt your kids have ever said something like that to you. But yeah, Dad, that was 2 weeks ago.
No, I mean, they say all kinds of stuff. I just laugh right in their face, like, you know, just like, just get out of here.
Yeah.
Just, you know, it's, yeah, but yeah.
It's a little easier to tell your own kid to pound sand, though.
Yeah,
I try
mean,
that.
it's a little easier to like get the F out of here with
Yeah.
that.
I look at his mom like,
no,
dude,
the other day he was like, he was complaining that he was being treated differently than his much younger sisters.
yeah, that happens. Yeah.
So I was like, would you like to be treated like a 6-year-old? He said,
Yeah.
yes. So I was like, no problem. I went right on my phone. I went to the Xbox app, family Xbox. And I was like, you are now set to the permissions of a 6-year-old.
Yeah. Did he freak out, or did he know you were? No,
Yeah,
you probably weren't
I
bluffing.
I didn't change it back for days,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
this will learn the boy.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? I mean, not to. I'm sure he's not here to defend himself, but those same shoes, he got some Play-Doh stuck on the bottom of the shoes, so now he doesn't want to wear them. You know why? Because there's Play-Doh on the bottom of the shoes. And
They
I
can
said,
be cleaned off, right?
yeah, 100%. I said, hey, when are you gonna wear your shoes? Oh, when the Play-Doh's not there anymore. I'm like, okay, how's that gonna happen? You're gonna, you know. And then he's just plays dumb, and obviously, his mom tells him that he's gonna have to clean it
What
one day.
child size shoes are those? Because I have a very small foot. What child?
He's a 3.5 child
Oh,
size.
okay.
Yeah, I
All
think
right.
they're, yeah, I know. And the funny thing is, I got a pair identical to his, except bigger size, which I haven't worn yet, but you know.
Well,
I
maybe
bu-
when you croak and he grows up, he could inherit those and not worry about the Play-Doh anymore.
Maybe he better appreciate the stuff. If not, I'm not gonna leave him anything. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then how are you gonna gift them things from beyond the grave every 2 weeks? By the way, I mean that's gonna be a
Yeah,
difficult.
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, kids, but yeah, the baby Sophia, we'll see later on. We'll see. Grandparents are spoiling her, which is good. I enjoy that, and whenever, you know, I buy her stuff as well. But I enjoy her living the good life. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What
Well,
are you
you
gonna
work hard
do?
for that, man.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I enjoy it. They send me, pictures, throughout the day, throughout the week. So it's fun. It's fun. Anywho, that's what's going on.
You got to make your daughter's environment like so high that their standards are high, so that they
Yeah,
don't put
you're
up with the
no,
bullshit.
you're right. You know what's funny is again, maybe because she's like that, she's kind of like she likes to kind of get in my head. My stepdaughter, she tells me, "Yeah, you
What,
got to be
play
careful."
mind games with you or
But
something?
she likes to play mind games. She
She
does.
gaslights you, as the kids would say.
She goes, "You got to be careful because she when you get if you're and I get it." She goes, "If you're too strict, it's not good. If you're too easy on her, it's not good. She might start leaving the house without you knowing or staying out late." I'm like, dude, stop scaring. I don't tell her because I don't like to let her know she's getting in my mind, in my head. But yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out, obviously, not to, okay, you're gonna go to the movies with your friends. I'll take you and then I'll pick you up. How about that? Cool, no problem. Stuff
Oh,
like that.
sure.
Yeah, or
No
be the cool
problem.
dad or whatever. Hey, oh, you want to have the
Sure.
girls over? Movie night, popcorn. There you go. Big screen TV. All right, let's watch it. Yeah. Okay.
That's so great. I can't wait to know you then.
Yeah.
Beverly Hills Chihuahua too.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
But
dude.
anyways, so how about Hawaii, huh?
Mm.
Yeah.
It's an unfortunate fucking situation, man.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
he had to be shamed to go visit.
Yeah. What about those people that already had their flights booked to go to Hawaii?
Had to
How-
cancel.
One of Kylie's clients has been planning her wedding on Maui for 2
Yeah.
years, and it's in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It
So-
was in 2 weeks.
She has to cancel it. Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
obviously, you think of all the lives lost, right? But I
Mhm.
mean, what all these people save, thousands of dollars for these, weddings and stuff. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah,
that's the real conundrum, is that like they're realizing, oh shit, the island economy completely depends on its 80% tourism.
Yeah,
Like it's not, locals trading,
Right.
vegetables and meats and things like that, or like fishermen villages where they're bringing back, the catch of the day for local. No, it's like, it's not their whole economy is not really set up for this. And
And the workers, a
Like-
lot of the workers lost their houses. A lot of the
Yeah.
workers, like my son lost his job. Like
they have a lot
the
of infrastructure.
restaurants are gone.
Yeah, they have a lot of
the places where they worked are
infrastructure.
gone.
Like they have a lot of infrastructure, like highways and like roads and all that, but it's like it requires a lot of upkeep, and that upkeep that requires you to keep like getting tourists to come in all the time, like all the time.
yeah.
And there's like too many people on that island that don't live there. They're bringing in, importing supplies. They're not growing their own supplies. I mean, they can't like build things that go in hotel rooms. They can't build toilet, they don't have a toilet factory, and like, they have
Mhm.
to import everything. It's like, it's just like I don't know.
Man.
The more I look at it, I look at it like this is like, oh man, this was just always something like this was always going to happen. Because like there's just not like it's not nature in balance. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like nature's not in balance. So when nature is just like gonna burn your shit down, like the other half is like, oh, well, we weren't ready for this. Like, oh geez, like,
It's like, you never are.
yeah. Or I don't know, there's places where there's like a lot of efforts put into routine inspections of power lines.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Not in this country.
In certain parts of this country, there are, sure. Like,
Oh, really? Like I feel like the infrastructure is kind of fucked up all over this country. It's
well, like there's a part of Maui where like Oprah's neighborhood did.
yeah, probably
It-
fine.
You don't really have to go that far from Lahaina to like find areas that coped,
Yeah.
were able to cope. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm saying like in like whether it's newer areas or areas that are affluent, or just where people are just like, where there's officials that are very motivated not to ever let something like that happen. And then there's some areas where people aren't really that motivated, and it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe there was maybe there's a terrible conspiracy. Maybe there was a direct energy weapon, or maybe just, like in so many other areas of the country where the train tracks are shitty. Like,
Yeah.
they just had really bad power lines, and in that area, like to fix anything there, it's expensive, right? It's like
Yeah.
twice as expensive, 1.5 times as expensive to fix something. So
And that's the other thing
Sure.
too that is more disrespectful. It's just like, here's $700. Good luck with that.
Oh man. Jeez, yeah. What the
You would
hell?
think that it would be able to for everybody that's on that island, especially considering there's thousands that are not going to receive that money. Like that he would make a blanket cost, like the people of Lahaina is a blanket cost, but it's not. Like my son's restaurant, that it burned down, but his house is still standing. They don't get the $700. They have no place to go to work. No salary, no money coming in next week because the restaurant is gone. There's no restaurant.
it's really
so-
hard to grapple with this, because $700 is like,
Yeah, it's nothing, but it should be for everybody. It shouldn't just be if you lost your whole house. It should be for everybody. Like we should care enough about those people that they need immediate things. Like they may need to travel out of that place or whatever, like they need something. It's crazy. It's so wild.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, but like when I think about what do they need, it's like it's really hard to imagine. What they needed was like a system where C-130 military airplanes came in like day 2 and started transporting people back home. Like,
Right. Or
but like
haven't you
that,
seen
but
those
like you have
Navy
to like
ships that
have,
have like the big water hoses?
yeah,
Like,
but you
what
have to have
about
like
that?
major,
Like,
yeah, but you have to have a lot of plans in place for that. There was definitely no time for a ship to travel more than a couple hours that could do that. And then you
they
just,
have it. It's Pearl Harbor is like an hour and a half away from Maui. Like they have
yeah, no,
a naval base
okay.
right there. I don't know.
But like the time it takes to communicate, to start it up, to get it going, it's like they weren't prepared. Whether it was an hour away and they didn't have the tanks full, or whether it was 6 hours away and they just never even thought that this was possible.
Yeah.
It's like just totally unprepared. I mean, the more I read that there's been struggles of like Maui natives who are fighting like the progress and the resorts all the time, because they want, maybe rightly so, to go backwards. They want like just start, as these resorts kind of age and they want permits to renovate them, just don't let them, so that people stop coming here.
That Hawaii wasn't even ours until like the 50s. Like it was like 58 that we
Oh, of course, yeah,
got
that's
possession. So
that's a given.
those generations, like that's your dad's age, like Bill was born in the six, like that's not a very old pop, like those people remember not belonging to America
Yeah,
and like
it
having
is.
their
Yeah,
own stuff
that's something to keep
and
in
their
mind,
own,
that
like
it's,
their heart or whatever, like their own pride that maybe, I don't know. I
yeah,
just feel
they're
like
very newly, I guess, newly, whatever you want, if you want to like say, like,
acquired.
colonized or whatever. They're newly kind of acquired, or or just kind of
Yeah.
developed. I mean, also at the same time, like I'm saying, like there's people that are on Maui that have been like, you know what? Hey, things are really out of balance. And there's so many people coming here, and hey, everybody, there's people sounding the alarm all the time, and they're saying, hey, everybody, if something happened, we don't have enough food. We couldn't feed ourselves. Like we don't have enough boats. We literally don't, we're on an island, but we don't have enough boats to go get fish to feed ourselves. No one's farming except for like very niche. Like I know there's like a lavender farm on Maui that's like gigantic and it smells beautiful, but it's like you can't eat it. It's like for selling. It's like to sell to people on the mainland, and like Hawaii lavender or something like that. You can't eat pearls, like necklaces and lays and all that. It's like,
Yeah.
but there's people who've been saying that for a long time, and everybody else is just like, look, man, I got a job being, like fixing things at the resort. Like, you gotta, why don't you chill out, old timer?
Yeah.
Quiet down, man. Like, this is a pretty good paying gig. I got health
Right.
insurance from Marriott. So please be
Yeah.
quiet about your like wanting to go back to the old ways.
Yeah.
But
So
I
there's
think
like
the
a struggle,
Lahaina
like there's a
area
struggle.
was the old ways though, right? I've never been, but I just like what I've heard is that like that area was like kind of still owned by people that was, yes, it was tourists, is that's how they get
Yeah.
their main whatever, but that was still like owned by the people, like people
I don't
owned.
I don't know that it would be that much different than, well, I really don't know, but
I don't either.
it wouldn't look, I mean, Louis is like the town where you fly. I think that's where you fly into. And there's like
Right.
there's like a Walmart and like all that shit there. So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Costco, like
I don't know that. I think Lahaina's uniqueness was just like just the beauty of it. It was just beautiful. Just a beautiful little freaking paradise on the side of like a sloping volcano, whatever mountain.
yeah.
Just a paradise that was just really well protected. And but at the same time, there's probably somebody that was like, and hey, everybody, just statistically speaking, because this is an issue on the mainland and like regular towns, suburbs, everywhere. It's like, statistically speaking, if we bury the power lines, then they won't get blown down when there's wind or something. And everybody's like, oh, that sounds like a pretty good idea. And then there's like, here's how much it costs. Everybody's like, that's a terrible idea. Like this, that's really expensive. And it's like really damaging to the earth and the environment. So everybody's just like, everybody, and I say collectively, people are like, well, I guess we will just keep the power lines the way they are. Just these wooden posts with, bare minimum fastenings at the top. It's like, and then when it gets windy, they're going to blow down and like catch fire because it's dry. It's the dry season and it's windy and they blow down, they break in a few different
That's the thing about
spots.
Maui though, is it dry? It's wet all the time. It's always, it's raining half the time there.
I've seen,
right?
No, it's not.
It's not dry?
It gets
Or it
dry,
is dry?
sure. It gets during
Oh, okay.
seasons. Yeah, it gets dry like anywhere else. Yeah.
I
I think it even.
I picture Hawaii like in the 80s and kind of tropical and breezy all the time, right? Not like
well,
my son's been there for just only 5 months, but he's like, it rains every day. He says it rains every day. Little bit, it rains every day.
Let's say it doesn't, and like if let's say it doesn't rain for a week, like it rains every day, but it's like critical that it rains every day, and then it doesn't rain for a week and it's real windy, and then everything dries out because it is sunny and there's just wind blowing and drying everything out. So maybe it could rain every day, and it seems that way, but then if it doesn't rain for a week, it's like, everything dries out. And also they're saying that like, they just weren't really, no one seems to have been that concerned with like fire management, like growth. Like I think I remember being there and they would have these because you drive up in like there's a volcano like Kalina. I forget what the name is, but there's a volcano you're driving up there. When you're driving down, you notice all these things. And they're like, I forget what they call them, but they're for truckers if they lose their brakes coming down a hill.
Yeah.
And they're just like these really long stretches that go down
Gravel
off in another
grade.
direction. Yeah. So it's like, okay, well, that tells me that people on this island are thinking about things that can go wrong. And we should plan for, hey, truckers lose their brakes because they're going down hills, like really big, windy hills. They lose their brakes. It happens a lot. So we should build these things that are like precautionary. And I think they also had fire brakes as well. Like where you'd be going down a hill and it wouldn't be a thing for the trucks. It'd be just a strip of land that was like completely stripped out. It was a fire break to where the fire couldn't jump over it.
Oh, gotcha.
But they didn't have them there. Like I would swear to that. I would swear that I've seen those when I was driving down from this volcano. This is my honeymoon. Like, yeah, it's just that they had these fire breaks. So like they're aware that things get dry. Like it's really windy. So it doesn't take long if you're in the middle of the ocean and it's windy. It doesn't take long for like the tops of mountains or hills to get dried out. So I don't know. I think there are a lot of people that were probably saying, hey, this could happen. And they were told to just be quiet because it's really expensive, to bury power lines or to make every resort and hotel and restaurant and apartment building and every house retrofit with sprinkler systems. I mean, do
There
you think
wasn't a lot
people,
of early detection warnings. Like my son texted me, Mom,
yeah,
we're about to lose power. There's a hurricane coming. And like within 30 minutes, there was no more power.
I think
There was
what
no
they're going
more
to find,
connection.
what they'll find is that the early detection warning did work and they called the fire department out.
And they told them to call 911 instead.
no, and they
Yeah.
thought they had it out, but they didn't. They went back
Mm.
and they were like contained. Like this is the conspiracy that I've heard is not like the weapons. It's that there were calls, crews went out, put something out, thought it was good,
Said it was 100%
called
contained and it
back, said it
wasn't.
was 100% contained and it wasn't, and they just made a mistake.
And then there was the mistake with the police blocking Front Street. That was another mistake. And the locals are saying that some of them were like, no, we're not, like locals saying, no, we're not going to be locked into this road. And like, I guess they went up like over people's lawns and around and they were able to get out. And those are the ones that are speaking, like we were locked on Front Street, like they wouldn't let us out, but I maneuvered my way out. Like there's a lot of people. And I honestly think like that's why they want to shut TikTok down, like because there's real people like you or me speaking and saying this is what my true account is of what happened on this day. Weird, lots of weird things.
I bet it'll
So
come
I guess
together. Yeah, I bet
Yeah.
it's like probably a big delay of people being able to upload things.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, weird
So-
seeing the new stuff come out, like people that and so much just wild. It's wild.
But yeah,
Wow.
I bet it's just, my take is it's probably really embarrassing to the local officials.
Yeah, for sure. As it should be.
Yeah.
I want to also say this out loud because a lot of people don't know when I tell them this, but the police chief for the Vegas massacre is also the police chief in Maui, and people don't know that. And that's weird. A weird coincidence that, I mean, it is just a coincidence, but it's weird. So I'm just putting it out there because people don't know about it. So.
Yeah, I
Everything-
saw it. I don't know.
Oh. You're dubious, skeptical as usual, Chris.
No, I mean, he's right. Christopher has a good point, but it's still weird. It's a weird
With
coincidence.
With what went down in Las Vegas, I'm guessing whatever he was, the investigating lieutenant was not in on it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if because I think most conspiracy practitioners, I would say, not theorists, it's derogatory.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, would say that like that Las Vegas shooters, that's up there in like the the high echelons of conspiracy
It's so
subjects to think
weird.
about, right?
Like it's
So
in a
it's like-
casino, all the cameras, no
Yeah.
nothing, like no records of those guns going in or out. Like it's all very
Yeah, it's like, so I don't think that the doofus that was assigned to investigate it on the police force there was like in on it,
right.
right?
But mishandling situations,
I don't think this has anything to do with the police chief though, does it? I don't know. This seems like a
the
fire
road
department.
blockage is what they're saying. Like the police were the ones that were out. Like my son got pulled out of his apartment by the police twice. It was the police that were going around pulling people out. So I mean,
So what's
that's
the
what they're
connection
saying.
like that?
I don't
This
know.
time,
I mean, I think
instead
that
of
probably
instead of a machine gunner in the building, they were like,
oh, I don't know I have no idea, Christopher. I'm
let's
just saying it's
burn them
weird.
all down.
It's weird, right? Isn't that weird? Like of all the police chiefs, of all the What's that saying of all the beer joints or whiskey joints or whatever? Like it's just
You know,
weird.
you know what I
The
say?
weird, okay, yeah, the weird is the bet. This is all I can give you, and then it's like
Yeah, no, it's just a weird.
every.
It's
I
just
bet
a
you, like,
weird.
I bet you that there's probably when that job opened up, there's probably like 100, 200 candidates from
So they
around the
picked the
country.
one that just came off of the worst. You know,
Well, he'd also be
the
the one
worst.
that'd be like, I'd like to leave this town.
Mm-hmm.
If he's let's say he's an honest dude, just or like a regular cop, I would say,
Yeah,
he's probably like, yeah, wouldn't mind a change of scenery.
yeah, a green one. But never. I
But I
mean,
don't know. It's weird, but it kind of annoys me in the situations where there's a lot of like very complex, a lot of very true layers to what went wrong, that people will be like, will just drop a weird fact and just walk away like, all right. What
Yeah.
was
I hope there's more answers. I hope for those
Yeah.
people that they get some answers. I hope that they get some closure, because I mean, I think there's been other fires throughout the country or incidents. Like, I don't think that, that train derailment, I don't think that's cleared up. We're just not talking about it anymore. It's moved on. But I don't think for the people
Yeah.
of East Palestine that it's any less egregious or emergent every day for them. I feel like they're probably still dealing with stuff just because the whole country's moved on to another thing. We may never know what the end result of what these things are, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think, yeah, it sounds, I don't know. Reading things, reading essays, opinions, articles by people that live there, talking about the history of it, the history of like just who works for the government,
Mhm.
like how do they treat the environment there? Not really well. Like
Yeah.
it's like when you go and you're on the beach, like everything's got a, like a slice of pineapple and a little, like umbrella in it. So everything's beautiful, but it's like, it's really not. It's really like a lot of fake environmentalism.
Right.
And I think a lot of people, like a lot of natives there, know that like things are just out of whack. They're prioritizing building, improving the highway out of the airport and the rental car pickup spot, because that's like, it's a moneymaker. And it's like, really, like they gotta appease the tourists, like 80% of their revenue,
Yeah.
like their economy
What
is
was the
tourism.
revenue
It's like,
before? Do we
and
know about
they're
that?
not they're spending the money like improving the rental car lot at the airport, and they're not spending the
Yeah.
money improving fucking power lines.
Yeah.
And at some point people can like be like, oh, these greedy land developers, at some point they'd be like, man, we voted for all these people. It's like it's my damn cousin.
Right.
My damn cousin works for the power, whatever, the council, and no one, and they didn't really care. Like, these are all natives. They didn't really put up a fight. They were more concerned
I
about,
think they're gonna put up a fight now.
yep.
I think,
Yep. And it
yeah, I
took
think,
something, we see it. It takes something so horrible for people to realize like, all right, enough's enough.
yeah,
And then maybe people
yeah.
should realize like, hey man,
Your
it's like,
town too might be fucked up.
yeah, or the people there might be like, hey, hey, it's been about a week and there's no FEMA, like there's no helicopters dropping off loads of food. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe some of these lavender farms that are, like this 100-acre lavender farm should, maybe we should break off a little piece and grow some yams, grow something we can eat.
Well, yeah.
Like, grow something that we're not just going to import or make into sugar. Like something like we gotta like, yeah, everybody, like that happened in the pandemic for people in the suburbs when they were just like, oh man, there was no toilet paper. They were out of meat at the store. Like, okay, I got to get a deep freeze. I got to do something. A little scary to be, in that situation. But yeah, it takes something terrible to happen where people are like, okay, we got to get things back in balance.
Yeah. I know it's already been mentioned. Manny mentioned it, but I still don't get the fact that the government is giving them. But what I hate the most is when they say a one-time $700 payment, a one time. Why do you have to put in the one time there?
Yeah, I think I'm a sucker because I must be. Yeah, I'm a government sucker because it's like when I heard $700, I was like, surely that's every week.
I know, right? Yeah.
Like even me, like, you know, as critical as I am, I was like,
A one time.
I gave them the benefit of the doubt. I was like, well, that's
Yeah.
gonna be every week, right? Like,
What the hell?
But yeah, it's so much more money for this other bullshit forever war.
Yeah, yeah.
interesting to think about though. Like, what if they gave them all $5,000?
Mm-hmm.
Was there stuff to buy? Like,
That's
Yeah.
the thing. The president
it's
said
kind of-
this
it's
is
kind of
for
strange, like,
water. This
yeah.
is for water, food, and toiletries.
Yeah, where?
Motherfucker, the whole island just burned down. That shit better be shipped in and given to these people.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
what I would-
We're gonna go buy water and food.
From where?
Yeah.
Well, I would like
Are
to.
you
I would
fucking
like to
kidding me?
know. Well, here's something that's missing from this story is in like the main town, Kailua or whatever it's called. I'm pronouncing it wrong, but there's a proper Walmart. I remember going to this Walmart. There's a proper Walmart in that town. I would like to know, like, were the shelves like wiped out at that Walmart and like all the grocery stores on like the other side of town because people were trying to get it to them, or was it like or was it a situation like they weren't wiped out because there was no point because there was no way to get it to those people? So I don't know. I'm like, that's missing. That's a missing.
Last Friday, I talked to my son during the day, and they were going to Costco and they went to Walmart because they were like, we're getting out of here. Like, we got evacuated. We're done. Like, this is over. They went to Walmart. They went to Costco. They're like, we're going to buckle down for a couple of days, but we're fine. Like, we survived the main Front Street, whatever. But there's still an active fire that's only 85% contained, which if another wind comes up, that could be whatever. Like, there's still a fire going on there.
Well, I'm just curious, like, if those stores were like, if like, because everybody was like in the context of like $700, man, that seems like kind of a
Slap in the face, kicking the
slap in the
dick.
face, made up amount. Like, why not 750? Why not just make it 600? Like, why? Like,
and also, if you got the COVID money, that money's not immediate. That money's weeks out. They're not getting that money.
well, yeah,
right
on this
tomorrow.
whole point is like, what if they made it 2,000? Would there have been anywhere to actually spend that money? And also, like, I think that we know from these things, like, all of a sudden everything would just start costing $2,000.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, I got a boat ride over to, like, hey, you can pick you up a line up to get, it's, hey, guess what? It's exactly $700. Guess what?
They're not letting them leave or come back either. So, like, you have to have, there was like 1 day or 2 days where people stood in lines for hours to get like these passes to get back to their houses. And then they were like, you know what? These passes aren't working. There's like a guy speaking over, like a police officer speaking over a loudspeaker, like, sorry, you guys have been in line for, 20 hours, but we're not doing the passes anymore. You can just come through. Like, it's so disorganized. There's lines where they're saying, like, people don't have their medication. Like, if you're diabetic, your insulin has to be refrigerated. They don't have refrigeration. They haven't had power for days. So there's supposed to be these medical things, but then they're missing, like, they don't have all of the medications. They have some medications. They have the more whatever medications. But if your house burned down and all of your medications were inside, you're going to need all of the medications.
Yeah.
I
bet those people, it's like, it's horrible, but it's like, I bet those people are just like, oh, I wonder, like, what, I mean, I'm someone that thinks about worst case scenario. It's like, did no one ever thought, like, did they just think that, well, there's just magical generators, like they would just be flown and airdropped in, like, in case of emergency? It's like, dang, people, like, you're living on a remote island. Like, I guess you kind of forget because you got the internet, you got your email, like everything's working, you got Wi-Fi everywhere. You forget because you are in America. And it's
Yes.
like,
My son at one point said, Mom, this is a third world country. Like, this is not, there is nothing normal here. The cops aren't like, oh, you can just whatever. Like, there's nothing normal. Like, we're not
I can
allowed
tell
to
you, like,
leave. We're not allowed to go here.
I'm sure there's people in Maui like this too, but there's people in like landlocked central Texas where nothing really ever happens like this, that those people literally have generators and shit like this because they're always thinking like what
Right.
could happen,
Yeah.
like they're living in a world where it's like my grandpappy got taken out by a tornado, so it's like they're
Yeah.
living not in
We need a
paradise.
generator just produce or just I can't say that.
Yeah, like people don't have generators, like,
No, I want a generator. Like we should all have one, but I just don't think that it's something that people think, oh, we need a generator,
if I was in
you
charge,
know?
I'd, those are the types of
Generators for
things.
all. That's what
Those
you
are the
run
types of
on.
basic things. Like I'd be like, you get a tax credit for bushcraft skills, like like if you want to get a generator to protect your family, I'll give you a tax credit for that. If if you want to build like a home garden, I'll give you $100 tax credit so you can, have an like a raised bed and all the seeds you need. And
Everybody should have one of those little cell phone chargers charged at all times. It gives you like 9 hours
a
of
little
cell.
power block. Yeah.
Like the last call that I got from my son with 1% was, and by the way, fire on both sides of the road. And then no power, no cell service, nothing, like for hours, for 12 hours, not knowing like he was alive, he was dead, his building was gone, his road was gone, his car was gone, like all of these thoughts.
They're
Like
also
if he
building
had just
in,
had like a little charger.
they're building
That,
in, I
yeah.
think the new iPhone's going to have like satellite messaging or something like that. So they're like, like at some point, a basic iPhone is going to have some kind of satellite text messaging system. So if you got a battery
There's one,
charge, you can
there's
text
one little
someone.
house that I've seen, or Ohana is what they call them on TikTok, and it's like fire all around it. Like there, this one little house stayed, and they have these little tents up, but there's like the Elon Musk, like he has his little Starlink. Like he sent a bunch of Starlink there for them to have like communication, because the communication is what, like, there's no communication. Like when I say like you don't get to talk, like it's so, like we take it for granted. It's all so taken for granted. Our whole life
Yeah.
is taken for granted. And yes, if anything, people should learn, get a generator, get a water filter. Allison Bedell texted me the other day that they're going back on the Adam Carolla show to talk about this new water filter, like that works without electricity. Like water's a big deal, like not having water. Thank God they went to Costco and got a bunch of beer, so they're fine, but there's no water, you know?
Yeah.
Ugh,
I really, I think there's a lot of missing information still, like,
sure.
because I've heard, yes, stories like people from the east side were putting stuff in boats and then taking the boats around and trying to drop them off to people in Lahaina, and then it was successful in some, and then some were being stopped by authorities.
Yeah,
That tells me that there wasn't really like a supply shortage nearby. It was more like a logistics, like couldn't get it to the people.
they don't
And then,
want
yeah,
to
I
get
guess
it to the people.
it's kind of weird to think about, because it's like, do we need to have a better system for delivering digital money to people in our country in emergencies? Okay, it'd be nice, but it's like, man, we're getting real weird. Things are getting real weird. It's like, instead of us spending like billions and trillions of dollars on like, protecting everyone from everything, maybe everybody needs to spend like, I don't know, a couple $100 a year, protecting themselves from these types of things,
Yeah,
like by,
sure.
it's just, maybe not. Maybe some people are like, no, we should, we should do all these things and safety proof everything for everybody, no matter what. And I don't know what's right, but my personal thing is, I go to work every morning and I'm like, I keep my battery pack charged because I'm like, I might get in a ditch and it gets stuck.
Yeah.
My phone, but it's like, hold on. I don't go to work. My entire route to work is, covered in traffic lights and like there's no way that could happen, but I still think you
Yeah.
never know. Like you never know what can happen. I'm kind of like that. My dad was like that. My dad was very much kind of a,
Okay, prepper.
I wouldn't say prepper, but
Yeah.
my dad was always like very head on a swivel, like just, what lane should you be in when you drive, like how you should take left turns, like, just,
Mhm.
yeah.
It's a good skill to have.
Yeah, very much like worst case scenario, but very a practical version of it,
Mhm.
which is like you don't burn a bunch of extra calories, but you just make a bunch of tiny little decisions that could make a huge difference.
Make your life a little better. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Get those little chargers for your phone for the love so you can keep in contact. The
Yeah,
very
but I think
least
if they
with your
reset
people.
Maui, they would build less,
I think they're talking about rebuilding it as a smart city. So there's that.
Let's not go down that route.
Well,
Yeah,
you
it's
can't really
already 9
build,
o'clock.
you really can't build a city. You can't
We'll
like,
see. We'll see.
so no one is going to be like, I want to rebuild my puka shell shop,
Mhm.
but I want it to be the exact same,
Yeah.
I want it to only have one electrical outlet in the back, that was really inconvenient, no, they're going to be like, nah, yeah, I'd like to rebuild my puka shell shop, but I'd like to have LED lighting. I'd like to have power outlets everywhere. I'd like to have, AC. I'd like to have sprinkler systems. I'd like to have Wi-Fi. I'd like to, because that's just what you do. So it's like,
Sure.
you can't rebuild that town without it being a smart city.
Of course.
Unless
And
everyone
thank
is
God
like,
they already signed that in 3 weeks before the fires. So
but even if they didn't, that's just not how humanity works,
yeah.
and also like, well, you can name any place in America. If a house burns down and you try to rebuild it, the codes are totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it last week. You can't even get new light bulbs. Like what the light bulbs have changed.
Well, I'm
if
just saying,
if
like
you're-
in things like that change. So like, no, the way you built that shop in Lahaina 80 years ago, yes, I'm sorry, you're not gonna be able to build it the same way today. Like, there's going to be maybe a dozen reasons why you shouldn't build it that way, and there's going to be a dozen reasons that are just totally stupid, that are just like, environmentalist driven or whatever, like stupid rules. But it's going to be rebuilt a smart city for sure. Like,
I gotta call it a smart city because they can't call it a concentration camp.
yeah.
There you go. Couldn't wait to get it in there.
And at the same time, it's I know that Hawaiians would like to live in perpetuity and for all generations, like untouched and just on that island. But it's like, guess what, everybody? Like, people have had to migrate.
Yeah. Well, I
Like,
mean, maybe
do you,
because it's so fresh, you know what I mean? Like it's only from the 50s that they weren't their own. Like, we're just doing what we're doing, and then America comes in and like, no, you're gonna do this, and now we're gonna do this, and
yeah,
now we're
fair
gonna do
enough.
that.
Yeah, fair enough. It is
But I'm
fresh to
sure they
them.
got like perks or whatever for doing it. Obviously, their government decided if it was in their best interest or whatever. But
In my opinion,
sure.
I don't know. I hope, I don't know. I wonder if Hawaii was not, if the United States was just like, you know what, Hawaii, you are a kingdom, and we wish you the best.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Right?
You think they'd be like a superpower? Or you think they'd be part of another country by now?
Oh, that's a good question.
That was a great question.
We could
Love
expand on that more in another episode of Endless
Yeah.
Ranters.
Yeah. A lot of heavy Hawaii talk. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Hopefully it
That's
clears up for them. We won't have to talk about it.
We
next
should have had
week. It'll be
Hi-Hat
all
in
cleared
here.
up.
She's an expert.
Maybe next time we could
Yes.
get her on the upcoming episode and have her
Get her on
give
the
us.
horn.
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
get her on the blower.
Whatever
She's
we
very
have to
helpful.
do.
Like I had no idea, and all the towns sound so crazy. Like they sound those names. You can't spell him. I was like throwing his address all over Facebook, and one lady came up and like
Now,
said, "There's an
you're sounding
apostrophe
very
in there."
xenophobic.
She said there's an apostrophe, and I was like, I'm spelling I just know the name of the road. Like I'm taking it from my Amazon
Yeah.
thing. Like she's like, oh, there's an apostrophe in there. My son's missing, ma'am.
Yeah,
My son's
exactly.
missing. Like I
Yeah.
don't have time
Yeah,
for an
it's like-
apostrophe.
Well, you may
Son
want to, if you're trying,
apostrophe.
one
But
day
it's
you might,
Hannah
you might,
Palalala. Like
Yeah.
it's the names are so weird. Oh, bless them and pray for them.
Yeah, for sure.
Indeed.
Christopher's the only one that's been, so
Yeah, never been. One day.
yeah. I look, the restaurant where Laura and I had our honeymoon, we went to our honeymoon on the island and we had a lunch there. I remember, it just kind of dawned on me when it was all going down that for the longest time, the picture I took from that lunch was like my desktop background.
Mhm.
It's just like a perfect picture of like now, like if you buy a new computer, it already has like a perfect
Yeah.
picture of the beach. It's like,
right.
Comes
so
on
like
this
back then
stock.
you actually had to find your own, beautiful picture of the ocean. So I had that as my background for a long time. Yeah, that place is gone. Yeah.
Forever
all wiped
changed,
out.
man.
Like I remember I was looking at the map because the Google Maps is still pre-burnt.
Mhm.
And I was like
Yeah,
looking at, oh yeah,
it
that's the
is.
park. That's the park. That's where we parked and kind of walked along this area. And then I think there's like yeah. Yeah, there's the seawall there. I remember it pretty well, but it
Yeah,
is
I have a picture of
it's a
my
weird
son on the
island.
seawall. Remember with his little cats and his Crocs when he first got there.
But it is like it's a it's a town. Like there was like a mall. Like, I mean, it was like, yeah, there was like it was proper
They have
streets and all
cribs
that.
there?
And then curbs.
Some guy.
A what?
Crips? Do they have Crips there? They
I
have
didn't see any Crips, no.
the Sea Walk.
You're dumb, Rob.
But then like what I remember was like
Yeah.
getting in and out of that town though was something else. Like there was no like getting in and out of there is like a windy road.
Yeah.
And
remember
everyone
when I was
drives
watching it
below
on.
the speed limit.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, there's just literally just one way out, one way in or out.
But yeah, some of those roads are only for locals. Like they're not for the tourists. You know what I mean? Like they're so windy or whatever.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like when you're driving through like the middle of Texas almost, where it's like hill country and it's kind of barren, little green but barren, and it's just like, man, who the fuck lives around here? Like what's going on? But someone
People
does.
that doesn't want to be
Yeah.
found.
Exactly.
I don't want to put him on the spot, but where's Adam Sandler in all this? Why isn't he helping?
Bro.
Right?
Yeah.
Where's Adam Sandler?
I don't know, man.
Mhm.
Oprah
Well-
got booed out of the town, so that's all I really need to know about what's
Yeah,
going on.
Oprah, right? Yeah.
I don't feel for them at
Good.
all. I don't feel for celebrities at all like that, but at the same time, it's like there's nothing like there's really
What can
unless
they do?
Oprah has owns like a bunch of huge helicopters with the big buckets that can pick up water. There's like nothing she can do.
She literally brought an actual handful of pillows.
Pillows?
So she went and got them at Costco. Pillows, but handful. Like
Okay.
not like everybody gets a pillow. You get a
Yeah.
car, you do it, like not like that. Not like everybody gets a pillow. A handful of pillows she brought in. They booed her out. They booed her out.
To me, the best
Bezos
case
gave
scenario,
$100 million. That's something.
the best case scenario for me when these things go down is for celebrities just to shut the hell up and go away and hide and don't say a goddamn thing and just get out. But I know in this day and age,
We
day
turn
one,
to them.
day one, everybody's just like, what is Oprah doing? What is Oprah doing? It's like the proper stance is who cares?
What
But as I
Oprah's
go,
doing, yeah.
oh my God, Oprah owns what's she gonna? It's like you see the videos of people saying there's nothing, like there's no way in or out. Like, what is she gonna do? Like,
Yeah, everybody's mad because her entire property is unscathed. Like the fire line goes around it, and people are pretty upset. that's the word on the Maui street that people
Hey,
are pretty
look,
upset about.
At
Well,
least Trump-
okay. So what they should be upset about is like Oprah, who has money, was like, fire. Someone that works for Oprah was like, fires are possible. Let's prevent the
Yeah.
fires. Hey, Oprah, give me some money and I will prevent the fires. Done deal. Bam. This is years ago. This is done. But in Maui, it's like everybody's just like, hey, give the government tons of money to like build a new rental car facility and make the airport nicer for the tourists to come in and like to, you know, make a sugar cane processing museum. That sounds awesome.
Not a museum.
Yeah, no, we need a museum to talk about sugarcane
Yeah.
processing because tourists will come there and you know spend $12 each to join, you know, and buy $3 Coca-Cola to come to the sugarcane museum. And it's like that's what y'all were prioritizing on. Oprah was spending her money making fire breaks all around her property.
She knew. She had a bit of foresight.
Well, I mean, she didn't know, but people that knew the island knew. I mean, I know I'm starting to be a dick, but it's like she was like, I'm not gonna let fire burn my shit down. And everybody in, you know, the people that were supposed to be the caretakers of this town were out to lunch.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't on the island. The officials weren't on the island.
Yeah, they were out to lunch on another island. That's just so that's so perfect that the governor, the fire department, like the key people were not even there.
Yeah.
Such a coincidence. It's so coincidental. It's all
You know who was just in Hawaii? Maybe I don't know which island.
Kid Rock.
No, yeah, I know. San Francisco mayor, London Breed. She was there about like a week ago. Yeah.
Doing what?
She'd rather, I don't know, probably staying away from the, you know, fentanyl users.
Mm.
But
yeah, definitely not exposed to any kind of overdosing. No.
Yeah. This lady, of course, she, you know, rather be in Hawaii. We're all entitled to our vacations, but come on, I'm sure she takes a lot of time off to go somewhere nice.
I made a joke because it's like when you first brought up the conspiracy theory about the direct energy weapon that might have started this fire. I was like, yeah, it's like all of us in America, we're so distracted by this or that we're not even paying attention to, you know, like basic things. Like, has anybody checked the fire, like the electric poles? Like anybody like, is anybody on top of these power companies that run these power lines and make tons of money, but don't really seem to fix or replace the power lines anytime? Anybody ever? No,
They're not on top of it. No,
because everybody's like worried about the conspiracy about, you know, the developers looking to come in and, you know, steal their land or whatever. It's like, well, you made it a lot easier by not paying attention to some basic shit around you.
Mm-hmm. Damn, Chris, that's a cold take.
Yeah, that's a cold take, brother. My son's still there, so I'm just gonna keep a more positive look on that. But yes, hopefully he'll be off on Monday. He's fleeing to another island that is also on fire, so hopefully.
I didn't do it, but I'm just saying that they're the people. I'm not. I mean, I'm not there, but I'm getting these ideas from people that are actually live on that island or having these same thoughts. These are not my thoughts. These are thoughts of people that live there that are just like, damn, we probably, you know, we should have like joined together and said something about this or like prioritized.
Yeah.
But I also understand they feel very helpless. Like again, I said, like everywhere in America, like every town you live in is like susceptible. You have no idea. You know?
Yeah. I mean, you think about my immediate valley has 2 million people. How many of those people have generators? Probably not 2 million. You know what I mean?
Do you know if like the guy that controls like your water cleaning facilities is like competent?
You're right.
Anyway,
No,
yeah,
I
we'll
don't
get out
think
of here.
so. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
everybody
don't
needs to
think
like take a look around and stop worrying about crazy stuff and worry
TikTok.
about like, am I safe?
The immediate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mostly you, Manny. 'cause
And
you're
grow
in
some
Southern
food.
California.
And then grow some food. Try to grow some food.
Watch out for Hurricane Hillary this weekend.
Oh,
Gonna be
yeah.
watching. We'll come next week. We'll have stories about what did and didn't happen.
Keep your secrets,
boy.
man. This is
Yeah.
when Hurricane Hillary's coming. You
Yeah.
keep your keep your lips.
Don't want to
Yeah.
get suicided by this storm.
No,
Hide
Your
your
lips
emails.
and your butt cheeks clenched.
keep all those
Completely
stories to
closed.
yourself.
Yep, will do,
Yeah.
sir.
All right, cheers.
Cheers, y'all. Get it on. Do what you want.
Yes,
Do
sir.
what you want,
Do
motherfuckers.
what you want.
All right.